Michael Collins was one of the leading activists in the conflict to separate Ireland from Great Britain and form the Irish Free State. His work as a combatant in the Sinn Féin and Irish Republican Brotherhood eventually led to the Easter Uprising, a violent conflict that was used as a protest against British rule, and the formation of the Irish Republican Army. In spite of this violent beginning, Collins played a major role in the compromises and treaty negotiations which led to the partition of Ireland and the recognition of the Irish Free State by British government in 1921. There are also a few more uprisings made by Ireland, like the 1867 uprising, also known as the Fianna Uprising of 1867, which was an uprising against British rule in Ireland. The 1920 sectarian riots in Belfast started because a Catholic doctor allegedly told a Protestant worker that none of his sort would find employment under Home Rule. Here are my claims. Michael Collins was the creator of the Irish Free State. Claim number 2. Michael was one of the main leaders of the Irish Free State. Claim 3. Michael was one of the reasons that the Irish Free State was created. Claim 4. Michael was assassinated because he created a treaty with Britain instead of getting complete freedom for the Irish Free State. Michael Collins was the creator of the Irish Free State. Evidence for claim. He agreed to the partition of Ireland and the creation of the Irish Free State, becoming a leader of its provisional government. To Collins, the treaty was simple, the start of a process that, in his eyes, would lead to the independence for what was now known as the Irish Free State. Michael was one of the main leaders of the Irish Free State. Michael Collins was an Irish revolutionary soldier and politician who was a leading figure in the early 20th century Irish struggle for independence. He was chairman of the provisional government of the Irish Free State from January 22nd until his assassination in August of 1922. Michael was one of the reasons that the Irish Free State was created. Evidence for claim. Michael Collins was one of the main reasons that the Irish Free State was created because he and a few other comrades were sent to Britain to help negotiate the treaty terms for the Irish Free State. Michael was assassinated because he created a treaty with Britain instead of getting complete freedom for the Irish Free State. Evidence for claim. Mutinous activities by anti-treaty figures in June of 1922 led to the outbreak of the Irish Civil War, in which Collins was commander-in-chief of the National Army. He was shot and killed in an ambush by anti-treaty forces on the 22nd of August, 1922. Here are some quotes by Michael Collins. Give us future. We have had enough of your past. Give us back our country, to live in, to grow in, to love. To me, the task is a loathsome one. I go in the spirit of a soldier who acts against his best judgment at the orders of his superior. The course of life and labor reminds me of a long journey I once took on a railway. Suddenly, there was a breakdown ahead, and passengers took the events in various ways. Some of them sat still, resignedly, and never said a word. Others again went to sleep, but some of us leaped out of that train and ran on ahead to clear the road of all obstructions. To go for a drink is one thing. To be driven to it is another. Michael Collins in a letter during a treaty negotiations. When you have sweated, toileted, and had mad dreams, hopeless nightmares, you find yourself in London streets, cold and dank in the night air. Think, what have I got for Ireland? Something which has been wanted for the past 700 years. Will anyone be satisfied with a bargain? Will anyone? I tell you this, early this morning, I signed my own death warrant. Though at the time, how odd, how ridiculous, a bullet might just as well done the job 5 years ago. In my opinion, it gives us freedom, not the ultimate freedom that all nations desire, but the freedom to achieve it. Yira, they'll never shoot me in my own country, Michael Cullen said to Joe O'Reilly just prior to his journey to West Cork in August 1922, where he was assassinated. The valiant effort and the martyrdoms that follow it finally awoke the sleeping spirit of Ireland, Michael Cullen said regarding the Easter Uprising of 1916. Deputies have spoken about whether a dead man would approve of it, and they have spoken whether their unborn children would approve of it, but few have spoken whether the living approve it, Michael Cullen said in a Daly debate in Christmas of 1921, shortly before he was assassinated. Put 'em in to get 'em out. Election slogan of Joseph McGuises, in jail for when elected for South Longford. I shall not last long. My life is forfeit, but I shall do my best. After I am gone, it will be easier for others. Successor to a sinister inheritance, reared among fierce conditions and had been moving through fierce times, he supplied the qualities of action and personality which the foundations of Irish nationhood would not have been reestablished. The channel forbids union. The ocean forbids separation. That is the end of my quotes. My project directly relates to the theme because it has the conflict of wars and trying to get the Irish Free State, and it refers to compromise through the treaties created the Irish Free State. I would like to give credit to these websites: Sarah Michael Cullen's sites, the National Archives for Britain, the Journal, BBC UK Wales, Recipe, and Michael Cullen's site,